Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6 videos. Don't know where to start, but I suppose happy Wondercon, happy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premiere day, happy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sneak peek day, because we've got ourselves a sneak peek out of the premiere of the season, and it is really amazing. I mean, all we've got to do right now is wait for 40 days, which is like the hardest thing we can do, all the way up until the airing of the premiere of the upcoming season. Now this scene sort of confirms a couple of things that I've talked about on previous videos. It also sort of validates the possibility of a certain theory that I presented to you before about the return of Coulson. Okay, so let us start at the very beginning of this scene. So as we start, Team S.H.I.E.L.D. is down on the ground. They have been beaten by someone. That someone seems to be the character portrayed by none other than Brooke Williams on the upcoming season of the series. Now, Brooke Williams over here is the actress that portrayed the role of Hannah Jones on the 3rd and 4th seasons of 12 Monkeys that aired on Sci-Fi. But however, in terms of her role on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, I'm assuming she's going to be portraying none other than Butterfly, who basically happens to be one of 4 or 5 announced new characters for the upcoming season. Now, Butterfly has been announced to be this unpredictable, aloof, spacey, but nonetheless lethal woman. The use of the name Butterfly has always been kinda strange. I mean, who names a character Butterfly unless you're trying to pull something out of the comics? And there happens to be one Butterfly on the pages of Marvel Comics, only she's a mutant and she goes by the name Lila Rose Miller. Of course, Butterfly is her alias. But okay, if we do assume that this is exactly the Butterfly out of the comics, are they gonna call her a mutant on the series? Not really sure. But that is most probably not going to work considering the Disney-Fox deal only went through a couple of weeks ago, and the 6th season finished filming in December, so they probably didn't know back then if the deal was going to be fully approved. So chances are if they wanted her to be a mutant, they're never gonna state over the course of Season 6 what she is, and they're probably gonna do that over the course of Season 7, if she were to be part of Season 7 that is. The other solution though is to just label her an Inhuman on the series just to avoid any trouble with what she is or who she is. But all of that does assume that she is the Butterfly right out of the comics. I'm going to be talking more about her powers and abilities in a moment here, and how it would just totally fit that she is the Butterfly right out of the comics. But moving on, we've got 2 of our agents on the ground, that being May and Yo-Yo. And if you haven't watched the video in which I mentioned this or read the news yet, the S.H.I.E.L.D. team is basically going to be split into 2 as of the beginning of Season 6. So, that basically explains why Daisy is not available for this mission. She is basically, and at this point, out there in space, trying to retrieve Icicle Fitz along with Gemma. On the other hand though, and whether we approve of it or not, because I know some people do not approve of the idea that Mac is the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., so he's right where he belongs right now, in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, observing and running point, and making sure that he sees the full picture, making sure that everything goes right, even though so far and based on this scene it doesn't seem like everything is going perfectly right. But apparently though, the mission over here is not really about Butterfly, but rather about something else, because we do see this timer in the hands of Mac, the timer that counts down to 0, it's in days, hours, and minutes, and then we see this truck coming out of this rift. I mean, Butterfly over here has been captured by this other S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, so unless she wasn't really the mission, and the mission extended beyond her, there's no good reason why Yo-Yo would keep telling May to go. Go for what? It is probably what the countdown timer is counting towards. That would also mean that they've already caught Butterfly before, they have confiscated this timer, and now they took her out in order to figure out what was going on. But the timer though is not just a timer, it's also got coordinates, and these coordinates pointed these guys to Kalamazoo, Michigan. But okay, May gets up, she's looking at this smoke, and at first we're thinking it is smoke, even though it's a little bit extra colorful. I mean, I know, with the colorfulness of said smoke, I should have expected something bigger than it just being smoke, but nonetheless I watched it on YouTube first, I didn't read the tweet that came with it on Twitter, so I wouldn't have thought that there's a rift from another reality opening on this scene and presenting us with this version of Coulson from another reality 40 freaking days ahead of the premiere of the 6th season. But these guys, they do indeed know how to get us all worked up and all excited. So yeah, thank you Marvel Entertainment, thank you Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and thank you Wondercon for bringing us this amazing scene and allowing us to watch the moment that Phil Coulson, or the evil Phil Coulson, steps into the events of Season 6. But alright though, the rift opens, and I'm really glad they didn't try to do something that looks similar to the Thanos portals on Infinity War. It would have gotten this series a lot of bad comments, like, oh, they're trying to prove that they're connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I believe they're connected, and I don't think they need a portal for that. But anyway though, this massive truck comes in through the portal, and out of the truck steps the driver, and the driver is this evil Phil Coulson. Now May is still on the ground at this moment. We don't get to see her reaction to seeing this other version of Phil Coulson, and I was really hoping they do show us her reaction, like extend this scene for another 10 to 30 seconds. But then again, I'm a little bit greedy, should have been thankful enough for getting this scene to start with. Now I do love how upon watching the trailer for Season 6 everyone started wondering, who in the hell does that voice belong to? You know, the voice of the guy who identified Coulson as a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. A lot of people out there went for crazy theories. And I thought if that voice is similar to any other voice that we've heard before on the series, it's probably that of Virgil's, which pretty much makes it impossible because Virgil belongs in the future. But hey, it's just a random agent, probably a new recruit to S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's kind of really interesting how they kept us wondering for the past couple of months on who this person might be, and we ended up with the simplest of answers to this one. Now that agent, by the way, is credited on IMDb as both a stunt double and an actor, filling in on the series for one Agent Fox. But to get to the things that this scene kind of confirmed and the things that this scene kind of opened the possibility to, as theorized on previous videos. Number 2, we know that Coulson is going to be making it on the events of Season 6 and from the premiere. And having Clark Gregg from the very first moment, or at the least at the very end of the premiere, that is one of the best things that the series could do for us. Number 3, we're not going to be seeing Deke from the very first moment. We have no clue where Deke is at this point. We also know that he's probably with Team Earth, so he's probably gonna appear all of a sudden, out of the blue, and he's probably gonna be like, hey guys, I never vanished, I just went out, eating ice cream out of trash cans and hugging trees. Let's not forget the Zima as well. Finally though, number 4, the butterfly theory. Now obviously this one is not one of the confirmed things. Obviously as well we have confirmation that Butterfly is working with Coulson. The question over here though is about defining the with. Is she working with Coulson like they are partners? Is she working for Coulson, or is Coulson working for her? It does seem from the scene that they're either partners or that she is working for Coulson. But anyway though, that's not the part I want to discuss. That's not really the part that matters. The part that matters from my point of view is whether or not she is the butterfly right out of the comics. Now if she is, then that means that she's got the power to resurrect a dead person. And that dead person will have no memories of his past, of the people he loves, or of who he is. And he is also and most definitely gonna lack on empathy. So call him a sociopath, call him a psychopath. That's exactly what Coulson looks like over here. Someone who looks pretty evil, someone who looks like he lacks empathy, completely lacks empathy. Now other than the fact that he is basically working with this butterfly person, there's another reason why I think this theory does make absolute sense. Simply put, and from what we know so far about Season 7, Clark Gregg is going to be part of it. So if he's purely and plainly the villain of the season, why in the hell is he part of Season 7? Are they just gonna do it in such a way that they redeem this criminal just to keep Clark Gregg around? I mean, I trust the writers, but that would be a little bit stupid and would be kind of obvious. Is he not a criminal and an evil person and we're just getting it wrong? That's actually a possibility. Maybe he's some kind of bounty hunter of sorts and he's here on a mission. And we are going to realize later on that he's here on a mission to help S.H.I.E.L.D. Now we would love that because we love Clark Gregg as part of S.H.I.E.L.D., but nonetheless, is that really what they're going for over here? Well, if they are, then scrap that butterfly theory, ignore it completely, but if they aren't, the butterfly theory would still make a lot of sense. It would actually be the only theory from all the theories that I've presented so far that does still make a lot of sense. But that being said though, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the sneak peek, how excited you are for Season 6 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let me know as well if you did like this video by dropping it a much appreciated like, subscribing to this channel, and enabling notifications for my future videos, community posts, and live streams. But until the next time you tune in for another one of my videos, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in to this one, and have a great day.